My heart sank as I put two and two together. My friend Bronwyn, who rents space in my store for her herbal stand, had filled me in on an incident that took place a couple of weeks ago while I was out scouting garage sales for resaleable treasure. It seems a woman came into the shop and started flicking through the merchandise, pronouncing it unsuitable, too much of that dreadful ready-to-wear. Bronwyn had explained to her that Aunt Cora's closet doesn't deal in high-end vintage. Our merchandise consists mostly of wearable clothes, with the occasional designer collectibles. The woman had then turned to my employee Maya and started grilling her about the ins and outs of the store, making none too subtle inquiries about where we obtained our specialty stock. Oscar had started getting in the customer's way, making a pest of himself and keeping her away from the clothes. Bronwyn had tried to call him off, but he'd kept at it, almost as though he'd been trying to herd her toward the exit. Finally, the woman had picked a parasol off a nearby shelf and started whacking Oscar, and there had been a scuffle. The woman had screamed and flailed, lost her balance, and fell back into a rack of colorful swing dresses. Maya and Bronwyn had hastily extricated her, made sure she was all right, and offered profuse apologies. The woman had seemed fine at the time, they both said, and she stomped out of the store in high dudgeon. But if I was reading the legal papers correctly, the woman, named Autumn Jennings, was now claiming that she had been headbutted by an unrestrained pig, had been injured in the attack, and was demanding compensation. It was a mystery. Oscar had never hurted, much less headbutted, anyone in Aunt Cora's closet before. He wasn't the violent type. In fact, apart from a few occasions when he intervened to save my life, Oscar was more the let's eat grilled cheese and take a nap type. He was also my witch's familiar, albeit an unusual one. Oscar was a shapeshifter who assumed the form of a miniature Vietnamese pot-bellied pig when around Cowans, regular non-magical humans. Around me, his natural form was sort of a cross between a goblin and a gargoyle, a gobgoyle, for lack of a better word. His was a lineage about which I didn't want to think too hard. "Bad vibes, dude," Conrad said with a sage nod. "Been there. Dude, I hate being served." "You've been served?" I asked. Conrad was in his early 20s and lived such a vagabond existence, it was hard to imagine why anyone would bother to sue him. I could easily imagine his being picked up by police in a sweep of the local homeless population, but how would a process server even know where to find Conrad to serve him papers? He nodded. "Couple times, but at least yours arrived on a Ducati. That's a nice bike." "What did you—" My question was cut off by the approach of none other than Aiden Rhodes, witchy godfather to San Francisco's magical community. His golden hair gleamed in the sun, a beautifully tailored sports jacket hugged his tall frame, and a leather satchel was tucked under one strong arm. As he strolled down Haight Street with his signature graceful glide, strangers stopped to stare. Aiden's aura glittered so brilliantly that even non-sensitive people noticed, though they didn't realize what they were reacting to. This is all I need. I girded my witchy loins.